Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to the video where we're going to talk about the last full moon of 2023, and it could not be in a more delicious arrangement. It could not be in a more delicious sign, and the aspects that are related to this lunation in transit are just divine. And I really think that the energy here is beautiful because, you know, all over the world, whatever solstice you just experienced, whether it's winter or summer, it's the end of a calendar time, and many people are celebrating. If you're celebrating something religious or some kind of other holiday, or you're just celebrating that you made it another year, you know, whatever it is, I look forward to just handing you what the cosmos have to say about it, because it's really, I think, just the nicest energy to be coming to the end of the year with. All right, beautiful friends, before we jump in, we're just about 7-8 days away from the class starting at Synchronicity University with Miss Nadia Shah, where I will be teaching about the nodes for the next 5 weeks. So if you want to go a little bit deeper into the nodal journey and understanding that, make sure you click in the description box down below and get signed up. As well, we're in about the last 7-8 days as well for my packages being half off. So if that's you, you're looking to travel more closely with your astrology and you want to check in during the year, this is a wonderful package. The package is $350 at half off, and it'll go back to $700 after the 31st. I look forward to walking with you if that's what you are ready to do. So everything is in the description box down below. And I do hope that you enjoyed the 2024 horoscopes with all 5 astrologers, and make sure you go over, check that out, check back in with those. Lots to digest there. All right, beautiful friends. Now let's talk about this particular lunation, the full moon happening at 4 degrees of Cancer. This is on December 26th, so just the day, potentially the day after Christmas, depending on where you celebrate Christmas. In Spain, where I'm at, it happens on the 24th, so whatever, it's the 26th. Now, this particular full moon, first of all, is when the sun and the moon are opposing each other. So the sun is in the energy of Capricorn, the moon is over in the energy of Cancer. So the sun and the moon are going in 2 different directions. My insides versus my outsides, they are opposing. You know, I've got 2 different directions happening here. And what we're always looking for when we're dealing with an opposition is integration. We have to integrate both sides. What I'm motivated to do in an external way and what I'm motivated to do in an internal way, we're trying to find the sweet spot in the middle to allow these 2 to work together. So what you want to do first and foremost is grab your own personal natal chart, progress chart, solar return chart, whatever it is that you're working with right now, but definitely that natal chart, and find out where the 4 degrees of Cancer and Capricorn are happening in your personal chart. If you're not sure how to do that, I've got a video in the description box down below about how to find the active transit in your chart. And if you feel like, Stormie, I need even more information, you can head over to stormiegrace.com, where I've got a new moon and sun sections that are done, and you can look at what these mean in different houses for you and in different signs as we travel throughout the year. It's all in the description box down below, okay? Now, this particular lunation, being in this cancerian vibration, is just so delicious because, first of all, it is the vibration of home. Cancer is our home-based, home-body kind of energy, but more than just home. When I think about home, yes, home, family, property, real estate, but also your parents, your roots, and the home here that I think that this particular lunation really brings all of our attention to is the sweet spot inside of you here at the end of the year, which lights up home. I get teary even doing this forecast at this time because we've been through a lot in these last few years. There's been a lot of growing, a lot of stretching, a lot of changing, not only in ourselves and our relationships, but in the world around us, that honestly, even the global feelings of home that each of us have been experiencing in the world might be very, very different, right? But what we can all do is go to our own personal home inside of us, and that place where you're seated in the hands of the universe as safe and protected. You're held. There is that favorite movie. There is that favorite character. There is that favorite scent, that smell that brings you back home to where you feel like it is safe to come home. It is safe to be seated in your space, in your body, in your spirit, and where your spirit can recharge. This is the kind of home that I think is really, really being lit up at this particular lunation. Now, this lunation being also ruled by Cancer, being ruled by the moon, it is a place of emotional homecoming for each of us. And it's really this healing salve to some intensity of emotions that we've been having. Now, whether that intensity is a joyous intensity and it's like, yeah, we still have that gushy place, you get to come home and have this soothing energy, or it's an intense energy of overwhelm, of feeling from the universe, the collective empathy, things going on in your relationships, situations that you've been working on and they haven't been happening as quickly as you'd like, or they're not as clear, or it just hasn't been the right timing. All of these get this vibration of soothing over this next 4 weeks. Now, this particular lunation, as you can see here on the chart as well, is in absolutely beautiful alignment with both Jupiter, who's over in the vibration of Taurus, and Saturn in the vibration of Pisces. So we've got a water moon we've got a water earth combination happening here with both our moon in water, talking to Jupiter in Earth, and our sun in Capricorn in Earth, talking to Saturn, the ruling planet, in water. So it's very much so an energy of regrounding you, pulling back in to your own personal comfort space. Now, yes, absolutely, we're talking about Cancer, so you could be talking about a physical home space, something going on with your parents or your family, but I think along the lines of nostalgia, of memories, of grounding back into yourself. And it's like, man, I don't even recognize who I am, or I haven't really had time to sit with me and my intuition and just who I am as a person in a while. And so that's why I call this particular moon as well safe to go home, because sometimes we'll have these moments where we're spending this time in the nostalgia and in the memories, and we're trying to stay there when we really need to have a glance, not a stare, and keep moving, right? But this is not that, you guys. This is a time at this last full moon that I want you to create space. I want you to create ritual to heal your spirit by looking at those old photos. It's funny, YouTube, Facebook, all of these, they do an end of the year wrap up. And I actually looked at mine just a couple hours before I was creating this video, and looking at what I accomplished this year on this channel that could not have been done without every single one of you was really mind-blowing to me. And as it was, certain things were coming up, I was going back to moments in the year, and some moments were really hard. They were really hard. This is a year for me where, yes, it's the excitement of transitioning and moving to this new place to fulfill what was lit up in my chart and the chart of my family members. But it was also a year where, I had to leave my mom. And I love my mom, right? Like, my mom's that's my running buddy. That's my girl, right? And while these things were very exciting, and it was very exciting, and I literally had my mom say to me, I am so proud of who you've become, and that you're able to go and take on the world, take it on in different languages, and be really who you are. It also meant I was ripping her heart out by leaving and not being there for the first Christmas of our life together. And it meant that my daughters were coming here, so there's a lot of this looking back through those memories as they came up. And it was like looking at them as painful as they were, as bittersweet as they were, some of them as hilarious as they were. There are pictures of me and my family dragging 15 suitcases. Yes, honey, you heard me. 15 suitcases through an airport, because that's how we moved all of our stuff to Spain. There were moments that my girls usually edit videos and things like that for me. And my youngest daughter has this absolute funny little Leo personality. So she stops the videos in places where my face looks really jacked up, and she'll screenshot it and she sends them to me, and she's like, you look great, Mom, and it's just these things, these memories, these moments throughout the year that are about nurturing that, coming back into it, having this experience again, and also realizing where you've grown from, where your efforts this year, no matter if the calendar year is ending looking how you want it to look, that it is, you have done something, you have been successful. Now, the trick that I think here that we have to be mindful of is not looking back in a way that is going to accuse someone else of your lack of success or your lack of progress, right? Because that's very easy when we do get into the water energies, is to say, yeah, but these people did this and this happened and my life is not what it's supposed to be because of that, right? And instead it's this place of where we're looking at where you have been productive, where you have made these changes, where you've been able to adjust with the world, and where in all of those changes it has taken your heart and it has taken your effort to do so. And now for the next little bit, you get to breathe. You get to breathe, you get to come back home, and you get to know thyself and to thine own self really, really be true. So I hope that at this particular lunation, you're going to navigate this and navigate any of the new connections you've made, navigate any of the productive things that you've been doing. And then I also hope that you allow yourself to rest, because when we come back home, we need to rest. So I don't know if you guys ever have seen the show Ted Lasso. I love Ted Lasso, okay? So if you've never watched Ted Lasso on Apple TV, I really suggest it to you. But there was this moment in Ted Lasso where this key player, he's just like, he's just badass is really what it is. But then something happens with his father. And he ends up actually going home to his mother, who is divorced from the father. And he's sitting and he's talking with his mom, and he's saying, I used to have this drive to do this, to beat dad, to be better, and to all of these things. And he says, now that he's not in my life, I feel like I'm still trying to fight something and it's stuck in my soul. And he's just there with the mom. And the mom, they talk it through. And it's a very dynamic scene because the son is opening up in this place. And he's literally, 25 years old, laying on his mom in this position of, I'm tired and I'm good at what I do and I'm tired. And the mom is in this position where she realizes that she gets to parent this way this time and share the truth. And she says, your dad is who your dad is, and he always will be, right? And then here's who you are, right? And so it's just really wonderfully dynamic moment where it's like, even if you feel like someone did you dirty, did you wrong, that lesson was really hard this year, where are you in a place where you can come home and rest and not be seeking the validation of they wronged me, I was right, but instead of, I get to come home, learn my lesson, lick my paws, heal my wounds, and get ready to proceed forward. Because what did you learn in that experience that is going to help you be productive to go forward? And sometimes what the learning is how to deeply feel the joy, the disappointment, the pain, the elation, the confusion, right? These are deep cancerian experiences, is to begin to feel so we can heal, to begin to feel so that we can be human and connected to the human family. And that really adds to our own harvest of abundance as we travel. Now, again, these connections to both Jupiter and Taurus, which has told you all year long, you don't need something new. You need to expand what you already have. You are sitting on a gold mine of resources, but you can't keep them unless you give them away. You have to share what you have, what you know. So what did you learn about relationships this year? Did you come into a dynamic of relationships where you're like, well, now hold on, this is unhealthy as hell, right? You're like, I neither need to be done with the relationship and learn from that, or I find out my attachment style is this. I find out I've been having such a hard time at work and in my relationships because perimenopause has got me by the throat, because menopause, because something, what did you find out in those Taurus dynamics around relationship and finance? And as you expanded out, brought new content, new teachers into your life, you're beginning to productively experience that change. Saturn in Pisces has said you have to stop talking about this level of faith and trust with the universe and be about it. We need to live on it. Create the discipline you need to have this next experience, to take your next level of mastery into the world with you. So there's an abundance of energy as you come home to you, as you open up your life and you get to the memories. I'll share this last memory with you. I feel like I'm just like, yeah, like I'm having a cancerian open up moment for you. Now my North Node is in Cancer. So I have been reflecting, where am I in my cancerian journey? And one of the big things for me has been looking back into my childhood and like what made me light up when I was younger. What is a fail safe for me when I kind of get lost in the weeds or I feel like it's getting too big? One is my mom. I have a wonderful connection with my mother and the women in my family. I mean, we're basically like my big fat Greek wedding. That's the style of my family, right? But also I get to come back to this place where I remember that music and dancing. I don't know if you guys know this, but I have been tap dancing since I was 3 years old. So I can still come back to sliding into my tap shoes and find this place in me that lights up with color, that lights up with creativity, that lights up with just a small moment of clarity that allows the rest of the world to shape around me. And the coolest thing has happened during this particular time zone as this moon is approaching is that both of my daughters are here and old enough to share their experiences of being children, being raised by me. And what do they know? What do they remember? What was really hard? I sat at the table and had a conversation with my daughter about what were some decisions I made that were hard for her, even though she's older and can understand the decisions. How did it feel? And getting into that without being the victim and being dramatic and letting it happen. Man, we have had a changed situation and we've been able to come home. And that is something that I wish for every single one of you, is that whatever it means to come home and to create the regrounding so that you can stay productive and open and growing on your journey and remembering how to root so you can rise. That is what I wish for you all as we experience this particular lunation, and certainly as we end the calendar year and head into the vibration of 2024. Last but not least, we are dealing with Cancer energy that likes to look back. So if someone from your past or something from your past presents itself, remember, usually it's about a little bit of a healing because Mercury is still retrograde. So those from the past, it wouldn't be uncommon that you're hearing from someone. And maybe it's someone who's come home for the holidays and you went to school together and it's that. Maybe it's literally the ex popping up in your DMs. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be for you. Let me know in the comment section down below. But whatever it is, I hope that you devote yourself to rooting down so that you can remember where you root, refuel, nurture, and rise. All right, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates, I love you so much, and I look forward to seeing you as we continue to travel into 2024 and beyond. Bye.